Welcome to another episode of Age of Radio Mercury. We are here on another Friday evening where I'm here with my pal Trey, Creator Trey. How's it going, Trey?
It's going fantastic, Joey. How's your week been?
I'm doing it's been actually it's been a crazy week. I think my kids are I think they're ready to get back into school. They've been out for quite some time. We still have a couple more weeks, a couple more months actually, before they go back. And I'm going, like, you can tell I'm getting more gray hairs because of it. But other than that, it's been fantastic. We got another week of amazing podcasts and geek culture news. As you guys can see, Jeremy is not here today, so we're going to give him a pass this week. But we're going to talk a little bit about a handful of things. Creator Trey sent over a handful of really cool articles, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to jump right into it. This first one, Trey, is kind of near and dear to my heart a little bit because I do a lot of things on Kickstarter. And when you sent this one over, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So we got an Apple history podcast that hit over $200,000 raised on Kickstarter, and they're still going. I think they got a little bit more past that goal. But tell us a little bit more about this one, Trey.
So I think that there was a group, and I'm sorry, I haven't read these articles as much as I should have. Uh,
That's all good.
um,
We're professionals. We'll just wing it.
there's this group who is really interesting. It was interesting because they wanted to use it more as like a crowd research
Mhm.
utility
Yeah.
than a actual crowdfunding utility.
Mhm.
But this is going to be one hell of a good Apple podcast because of it. I'm curious, do you usually see podcasts on Kickstarter?
You know what? When I saw this, I was like, "Oh, what a great idea!" Right? And then the first thing I did, you know me, Trey, was I went over to the page and I took a look at it, and this is kind of what we saw here. I'm gonna take this banner down so we can see it a little bit more. So I was taking a look at it, and I said, I'm a designer, right? And I design Kickstarter campaigns and stuff. And right off the bat, I was like, man, guys, I can design this, make this look a lot better. But that has nothing to do with the money they raised, because what it's about is amazing. They did a really great intro video. I suggest you guys go and watch it. I don't know if we were to play it here, but when they talk about it, one of the gentlemen that is part of this podcast, it sounds like he is a Apple history historian. He's covered Apple from the beginning. He's a journalist, and he's got all this stuff, just lying around. So he kind of created this idea to create this history podcast, and they took it to Kickstarter. Right now, it's over $240,000. Wow, that's amazing. Over
That's
almost three
crazy.
thousand, almost 3,000 backers here. 4 days to go, and it's actually a pretty cool idea. Going through this campaign here. I don't normally see podcasts on the market though, but this was a really good idea.
I really like this. Actually, it's funny because I just finished two really interesting books about Apple. One of them was Steve Jobs in Exile, and the other
Mhm.
one you might like as a designer. It's called Creative Selection. It's a little bit more into the coding side of things,
Mhm.
but it's by one of the people who is like a he made the iPhone keyboard.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
And I think
so
they're gonna go a little bit into something like that too. They discussed that exact book.
oh sweet.
Yeah.
Then I definitely give this one a listen if you guys are interested in Apple stuff.
Yeah, and it looks like you guys can support it at a really great price here. That You got some really low tiers here, some great higher tiers. Listen, this people are getting really creative with Kickstarters right now. I saw our friend Mega Ran. He's been doing a Kickstarter, and I was looking through his campaign, and the way they do these are way different from like comic books, like the way we run ours. And it's just really cool to kind of see the different ideas that people come up with for these crowdfunded campaigns.
Yeah, I completely agree. Out of curiosity, what's the strangest campaign, actually good campaign, I guess I should say, that
The
you've
strange,
seen on Kickstarter?
the strangest one, yeah, I don't know, man. I think I don't normally venture away from comic books, um, but when I do, it's usually to like TTRPGs and stuff like that. But I thought the one that was kind of out of the box and that was really kind of cool. Were probably these two, this podcast idea, and then the Mega Ran. He's a rapper, right? So he's kickstarting an album and getting people like producer credits, and getting people involved and into the making of these things. And that's kind of what I've noticed with these kind of different takes on these different things. It's more of like the making of it, and that's kind of what Kickstarter used to be for comic books. It used to be, about the making of it and being part of the making of it. Um, because of the different ways that people have marketed on there with their comic books, excuse me, they've done it just a little bit different since then. Now, we got our pal Feathered Serpent Comics here saying, I think there was one for a potato salad one time that did really well. Oh, that's funny. Potato salad on Kickstarter that did really well. That's
Oh,
hilarious.
oh my gosh, I remember this. There was this one guy, he said, I want to make a potato salad so I can have a sandwich and a potato salad for my family. And he asked for like $5 or $15 or something like that. And it blew into like
Oh my god.
3,500 or something like
That's
ridiculous.
hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, so if you were to make just like let's just do this. Like, well, if you had the weirdest thing that you would put on there, what would you do? What would you make a Kickstarter for? Just to like come up with some money on the side, some worn in shoes, some old, I don't know. It's just random. All
Yeah,
right, let's
that I have no idea.
all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Are you in you love Netflix, right?
I I'm not into I have Netflix. I wouldn't say I love Netflix.
Well, that might be the sentiment of a lot of different things here happening on Netflix, especially with the podcasts. You guys, we were talking about this last week about, what is a podcast? Is a video? Anybody doing video podcast? Is that really a video? Is that really a podcast? Right. So here in this next one here, they talk about how the Netflix video podcasts have a low engagement. But when I was actually looking at the numbers, um, it's it's kind of confusing, right? Because when you put these things on paper, a lot of times even an increase looks like a decrease if you're looking at it on a larger scale. And I think that's what they're kind of using here as this demographic, or this statistic, I should say. Um, is that on the platform there's like a 2 to 3% increase or something like that, and then but because of the Netflix's user base increased to 10%, it's made the video podcasts a lower decrease. So overall, it looks like they've done their low engagement. But I don't know. With me, I I would call that a win, man. I don't know if I was a video podcaster on Netflix, I'd say that was a win in my case. How about you? What do you think about this one?
So I think that because I don't know if the people who put podcasts on Netflix actually look at their view numbers as much. I mean that they're
I
being paid either way,
I mean, come on, what
honestly.
podcaster doesn't?
It's fair. So I mean it's a good thing to have more eyes on your podcast for sure, but I've always been like having more access, more area for your podcast to show
Mhm,
is always a good thing. Um, I've always been under the opinion that that sort of thing isn't quite what people go to Netflix for.
mhm.
So I think that they're not going to do as good as Netflix was hoping. And my guess is for these metrics that Netflix is doing, that they're comparing it to like how do I put it? What they expected.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
they thought a certain percentage of their users would do it, and or even like compared to other talk shows on the site
right.
type of
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, and it's all coming from the Nielsen reports, right? Which are pulled from ratings and people doing that, and then also purchases in stores and things of that nature. They do all kinds of different things. They even do that on their merch side. So I used to work as a merchandiser for Nielsen, who I would actually go into stores, and I would be the person who was taking the tabulations of all the different products so that these different companies could take these numbers and then use this data. And it was like basically like, data farming and grabbing this data of their products in the store. And so that's what they do here, and it shows which products are selling better, and which ones need to take a better space, which ones need less space, and things of that nature. So when it comes to that, it's great for, in a company standpoint, when you're trying to put your monies in different departments, and kind of divvy those up. But on the creator side of it, right, then you really have to be on those things in order to continue to make sure that you're making money. It's a really really hard game, but listen, this is really cool. I think the more and more that we watch these things, the better and better it gets. The more and more we have them available to us, I think the better the opportunities will be. Listen, years ago we didn't have anything like this on Netflix. The one thing that I can think of that we had something similar to this was the companion podcast, or the companion shows that they did like right after the Walking Dead. Do you remember those, where they did the companion like video shows and video podcasts? Um, that's the only thing I can think of that was very similar to this, because I watched some of the ones, um, like I watched the One Piece, a couple of the One Piece ones, when they had the companion one on Netflix. So, if you're a really diehard fan and you want these things to stick around, consume it, right?
Right.
All
It's
right,
funny you mentioned the side podcasting, because I didn't even know that was a thing until
the
I
Talking
started
Dead, correct?
watching. What?
The show was called The Talking Dead.
Oh, well, I mean, I wasn't aware of that one in particular. The only time I knew that there was actually a thing for that was when I was watching Apple's in. Oh crap, I can't remember the name. That show that came out last year that was really interesting. Season 2 came out last year.
Oh, they had, dude. Apple does so good with some of those shows. They have some really great sci-fi shows. I can't do it. There's so many great ones I can't even think of. I actually had to cut off my Apple my Apple TV account, because I was like, okay, it's between Netflix. This was when they the HBO Max or whatever, when they did the switch or whatever, and then they went and did the switch back to from Max to HBO or whatever. Um, Branding is everything, I guess. But I was like, I had to figure out which ones we were going to keep, and I was like, well, Apple's easy because I could just cut it off from my from my phone. Um, okay, but video podcasts are still kind of cool amongst Gen Z. And it's, I guess they're showing some marketing power here. Do you want to talk a little bit about this one, Trey?
um, I think that I don't have a lot of actual details. I apologize.
No worries.
We usually go through these a little bit more. I should have done it. Anyway, for this specific thing, I can give some basic sentiment. I think that this makes sense. I
Hmm.
think that more and more people have. They don't necessarily just have it on their phone. I think that they'll have YouTube going on the TV so that they can use their phone at the same
Yeah,
time and do
probably.
TikTok or whatever else.
Hmm.
And also because video podcasts, at least on YouTube, they tend to perform better. So they might be trying to actually like support a creator. That's just what I've heard.
Listen, my kids are what, I don't know if they're Gen Z. I think one of them is. I think they're what, Gen A now or something, whatever they call it. But anyway, they do exactly what you said. They have a TV on, and then they have like maybe a tablet on something different, and then they're playing video games. I'm like, how do you guys like turn one of those off? They're like, no, I'm paying attention to this. And I'm like, well, why do you have the TV on? They're like, oh, because that's the background noise. I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, it's I digress. But here we go. A new study from Libsyn offers fresh evidence that creator led video podcasts can drive measurable results for advertisers trying to reach younger consumers. The podcast company says that a campaign conducted for an unidentified quick service restaurant chain generated significant gains in awareness, purchase intent, and brand favorability among Gen Z consumers by combining podcast host endorsements, video integrations, social media amplification, and custom brand measurement. I mean, that's something that we tell our creators. You when you want your podcast to be successful, you gotta be out there and doing it from all aspects. You have to market that thing out there. And you can't let up. You can't relent. And it sounds like this is what it is. If you're doing that and you're marketing it and you're doing it well, it's going to be well received. But why is Gen Z? Why are Gen Z consuming this a lot more? And I think
That's
go ahead.
that's really interesting because I almost think that that's something that millennials can get behind too. I don't know. Do you ever watch Caleb Hammer's financial audit podcast?
No, I don't.
Oh, fair enough. Do you have like to have any podcasts on in the background while you're doing something like? So I will listen to.
I listen to less and less podcasts today only because um when I work I need to have music on. It's Liz, I love podcasts so much that if I have it on, I won't do work. I'll just sit there and listen to it, and then I'll hit the next one. And I'll just binge them, and by the time I realize it, I'm like, oh, I got to get these kids to bed, and I should probably do some work. So I don't listen to podcasts. I listen to music, and it's music that I already know, that it's not like new music, because I do the same thing with new music. I'll have to sit and listen to it. So if it's something that I already know and I can just kind of ignore it a little bit and just have it in the background of work, otherwise I'll have to just sit and consume it, man.
That's the entire reason why I don't watch anime while I work, and why
Right.
Spyro was my album of the year last year.
There you go. I get that, man. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. I know we're going pretty quick here. I'll slow down on some of these if we need to. This one, Jeremy talked to me a little bit about prediction of the prediction markets, but this week, looks like prediction markets are going to be moving into podcasts. This is very interesting. While I pull up the article, how do you feel about this? About these different companies going into these prediction markets and using them as a marketing tool?
I think that I think that it's more like Kalshi and other stuff are starting their own podcast, and I think that that would be actually a really good thing because it'll bring up more. Like it's a very fantastic marketing tool,
Mhm.
um, but also I think that it's going to be interesting because I have a funny feeling of it's going to be something like this week. The top prediction was X, and
Yeah,
the uh, answers were Y or something to that effect.
I think that would like right. That would be you're like, that's what we think would be kind of like a mundane, episode. But what it looks like they're doing here, looks like they're doing it in a little bit more of a creative way, because they're working with podcasters who are actually going to talk about the different like why people are doing on this one prediction, or like, right, why are they so involved in this other thing, or why are they even talking about what if like, because these prediction markets get a little weird, right? Sometimes like you can predict on anything, like depend like a race between a snail and a rabbit. Like I'm not that's not a real one, but I'm sure there's some odd ones out there. um so it's like I think they can get some really fun twists with these podcasts, and then kind of use them as a tool to market these different markets and these different companies. I think it's smart, because these companies are getting more, they're moving in the right direction of they're watching the flow, right? They're riding that wave, riding that bubble, if you want to say. And when you're at the top, when you're riding that wave, you hit that wave, and you at the end of it you look back and you're like, all right, that was a good one to go after. I think that's where we're at with podcasting. We got a resurgence of podcasting because of the new video market. That technology is moving pretty fast and doing amazing things. For very soon, we might have ability to send out a video podcast just like we would a podcast through in like an RSS feed, different ways and different technologies. Like, because of this, if you're not on board with the way podcasting is moving, I think you might get a little left in the dust.
I do think that there's going to be room for audio podcasts, but video podcasts I think are
Oh yeah.
going to have a little bit more of an audience spread to them. And I love the fact that I actually sorry, I'm gonna go on a quick side thing here. I
Please,
love the
tangent. Do we have a tangent? Do we have a tangent banner?
Oh no, we should make one.
We need a tangent banner.
I love the fact that Apple is introducing HLS
Mhm,
because we talked a little bit earlier about, hey, what's a podcast, what isn't a podcast. Our view on it has always been, if it's on an RSS feed, it's a podcast. Um, this is something that's going to allow the stuff to be on an RSS feed, while as I think that Spotify kind of had to concede on the point, which I
mhm.
love, because they were going to have it just be an API endpoint and try and own the content.
Interesting. So what do you think about these prediction markets and different companies jumping on board and advertising not only in the video market but in podcasting as well?
I think it could be a really good opportunity. And if they like are using this as ad dollars in doing it for creators, I
Mhm.
actually think that was a better idea than what I thought they were doing. Because if that's the case, you can have like cinema therapy talk about the pros and cons of if Toy Story 5 is going to reach buco bucks in the box office or
Right? And
whatever.
we're gonna get a little bit to that later here because we're gonna talk a little bit about what they've done in the box office, which is insane. But yeah, I think yeah, it'd be really cool. We got some more great news in the podcast world here. Let me pull up this banner where we got some really cool news about some about more opportunities that will be able to happen with your podcast. There's a new service that adapts English language podcast and ads for Japanese audiences, which is going to open us up to more audiences, right? Because anytime that your episode can be translated or directed towards a certain demographic and their language, you're just gonna see a plethora of you're just going to see a growth very quickly because people are just going to be interested. There's going to be that it's like a wreck on the highway kind of idea, right, where people like always are, oh, what's this kind of an idea, right? You're gonna be attracted to it. So I think it's a really cool thing. How are you feeling about this one?
So I think it's really interesting, and I think that we're going to see more like this because globalization has been kind of the word for the last year.
Mhm.
YouTube did it. I think Instagram and X started doing it. Just about every social media platform is doing it. I guess it makes sense to have tools to do it for podcasts as well. Just
Mhm.
about any language you can think of. I think it's really cool, honestly. And I do worry a little bit about over commoditization because if there's
Okay.
too many podcasts, people are going to get hyper focused on the podcast that they like.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, I think this is a uh, fantastic new product.
Definitely. So a Tokyo-based digital audio advertising and podcast technology company, that's a mouthful, has launched a specialized audio localization service designed to help global brands and media companies adapt their English language. Look at that's my dyslexia saying language English. Um, English language podcasts, audio advertisements for their Japanese market. While translation vendors focus on text-based Ultimo, which is the company based out of Tokyo, says its service rebuilds scripts for spoken Japanese, ensuring precise 15 and 30-second ad timings, adapting the content to local cultural context, and casting native Japanese voice talent suited to the content and delivery environment to maintain brand authority and tone. That's really interesting.
So here's an interesting question for you.
Yeah.
How do you think they handle music? Do you think that you have to like set out the vocals and give them the vocals and then put it back into your ad for that sort of thing?
I wonder, right, for like your music in the intros and all that stuff. That's really interesting because as I was reading this, I didn't know that they were going to be actually having voice actors involved in this. I thought it was kind of like this technology that would just translate it with this new AI technology that a lot of people are utilizing. This is different, right? And I mean, it's kind of cool because it's almost like movie dubbing, right? Very, very interesting. I think it'd be difficult to kind of you might have to work with them a little bit more to like to give them your music, give them your lyrics, and they'll probably have to understand some of the context, into back and forth. So it because also, right, you can't just translate music from the English language to Japanese, and it just doesn't flow very well when you write the music. So how would that work, right? Yeah, that's an interesting one too.
Uh, so I think we maybe I'm wrong, but I got the if my guess isn't going to be that they use. Did they say they were going to use voice actors?
It says that they're going to be casting native Japanese voice talent suited to the content. So suited to the content. So I guess if they what that probably tells me is I wonder if they're going to be using if they're going to be working with people and you can actually pay them to go further and actually have voice talent. Really
That's
interesting.
that's fantastic because I would have expected them to use 11 Labs and just, but actually working with voice talent. That's wonderful, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's like video dubbing, from different languages to English, which is really kind of cool. They're getting a lot better with those too now lately.
They
All
really
right,
are.
let's go ahead. Yeah, they are. They're just doing really good. All right, we go. This one, you're a gamer, right? You love playing games. Are you a Destiny 2 fan?
I'm not, but I've heard
So
all sorts of
so
stuff on this.
so I played Destiny 2 for a little bit. Listen, I'm not the best gamer, right? And some of those levels are hard for me. I'm gonna admit that. But we got some news here that Bungie is laying off most of Destiny 2's development team. Ooh, how do you feel like this is going to how's this going to affect the game going forward?
Oh, I don't know if you've heard. Destiny 2's gone. They put
Gone.
out their last they put out their last
No, no.
DLC for it just a little while ago. Like it's still up, but they're not going to be working on it anymore.
So that's why it looks like we're going to be doing okay. So Destiny 2, so at the time it wasn't clear that what was meant for the studio, but some theorize that Destiny 2 team would all get to work on Destiny 3, but today confirmed that the worst outcomes. Bungie has announced significant layoffs, which will include most of the Destiny team, some Marathon developers and employees at Sony Interactive Entertainment that helped support Bungie, according to the statement from this article here. Really interesting that you say that because does that how do we are we going to get a Destiny 3?
I think that they're putting all of their efforts on Marathon right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and they're just
Um, and unfortunately, Marathon does not have a very high player count. I really hope that they pivot and find something, but from what
Mhm.
I've heard, this essentially guts what the studio was before this. That's what I've heard anyway.
So here let me put this up, push this to the front here. Says Marathon remains an important part of the portfolio and will continue to support the team as they build on the strong foundation established in 1 and 2. And it looks, while it's early to discuss, we are encouraged by the creativity and opportunities that lie ahead. In other words, it may seem like Marathon is safe for now.
Yeah, Marathon is safe for now, for sure.
That's interesting. Very cool. All right, let's see. We got this next one. We got another game one here. I'm gonna push this one up a little bit further. Grand Theft Auto and the Ultimate Edition has been revealed. Do you play Grand Theft Auto? I know I played it a long, long time ago. I can't remember which one I've played.
I have played most of them. I have not beaten a single one. Uh, my my
Same.
version
I always get sidetracked on the side quests.
my version of playing Grand Theft playing is putting cheats on this cell phone to give me invulnerability and high jumps and boinging around the map.
That's hilarious. Okay, it looks like Rockstar Games has announced last week that Grand Theft Auto will pre-orders will be going out June. Oh, that you go out yesterday. The studio revealed that game's much speculated price, as well as a second more expensive edition, the standard version of Grand Theft Auto. So if you guys are watching this, some of you are probably playing it now, for like $80, and the Ultimate Edition will cost $100. Oh my god. Okay, here's a question: what do you feel? How do you feel about these prices about these games are now? And it looks like our friend Feathered Serpent Comics, the last GTA I played was number 3. He said, "Oh man, that's that's a minute
That's a
ago."
throwback. Um, believe it or not, I'm actually surprised it's this low. Um,
Really? Okay.
oh yeah, there was talk that it was going to be 100 to 120 to $150, and like the Ultimate Edition was going to be in the 200 to 250 range.
Wow.
Um, the fact that
Wow.
they're doing it at 80 is actually like it's honestly in line with the industry. Most Switch 2 games are around 70 to $80, so
Interesting. So it looks like pre-orders went live yesterday at midnight. If you guys are out there, you guys got in line and played, let us know. And if you're playing now, get off the game and talk to us about it because this is freaking out. No, don't get off the game. Very cool, man. I don't know. I think the last I'm probably gonna tell them. I think I remember the last one that I played was the which one was it when they made the transition to like the overhead view to like the actual in-game play one. That's the one that I played. Was
3.
is that 3? I
That's
okay.
3.
I played 1 and 2 a lot and then 3. And then I think we beat number 3 and then that was it. I don't think I played anyone after that. What was the
Oh
last
man,
one
if
you
you
played?
5. I did play 5.
Okay. I
For
heard that they
the PS.
go
Oh,
ahead, go
sorry,
ahead.
what were you saying?
I was gonna say I heard that they got way raunchier.
Oh gosh, I don't know much about that. Yes, they kind of did in some respects. Um, but again, boinging around the map. The PS3 version was really cheap, used.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So talking about a little bit about some consoles here. What consoles do you have at home?
I have a Switch 2 and a PS4 and an
Okay.
iPad.
Okay. So we have PS5, we have Switch 2, Switch 1, and then we have a Switch Lite. And then we had an Xbox S one, I think it was. But we got rid of it because it was just wasn't working very well. And then I think that's all we have here at home. But it looks like I and Xbox. Listen, I we had that Xbox since we got it like when it first came out, and then it started going kaput when they did the brick one. What was that one called? The X or whatever the heck the Xbox.
Series X. Yeah,
Yeah,
the one that looks like a toaster oven
yeah,
or a
right.
freezer.
With like green illumination at the top. Yeah. Or like a little mini fridge. And then
Yeah.
I saw somebody who actually had they make mini fridges that actually look like one. I'm like, what the heck? It's crazy. But Xbox consoles are getting another price increase in August. Oof. Let me pull this article up so we can see what the price is going to look like. I'm going to push this up so everybody can take a look. All right, we got Xbox consoles going a little bit higher in August. Looks like you're gonna be. This is a third price increase since in the in the last 13 months. Holy smokes! Effective August 1st, the cost of certain Xbox models are being raised worldwide by no less than $100. So an Xbox Wire post also okay. Sorry, I didn't. I should have read this beforehand. Sorry. According to an Xbox Wire post, they state that the 512 gigabytes model of the Xbox will increase in about $100, and the 1 terabyte model is 150, and the 2 terabyte of the X series. Woo! Look, we got X Series 5S 112 gigabytes for about $500. It's currently so they're all going up about $100. $399, $599, $749 for the 1 terabyte Series X digital, and the 1 terabyte is going to be $800. Holy smokes! Okay, do you think
That
that's worth it?
I'm gonna say this. Well, first off, I think it depends. I do think that this is kind of because they always talk about the AI thing, and I
Yeah.
have another thing on that because there's an article that I didn't get to bring up. I kind of saw it afterward.
Mhm.
But this is kind of crazy. I don't think that a lot of people will find this worthwhile, especially because of how much they were just a year ago.
Mhm.
I imagine that the used market's probably going to go crazy, but
Oh yeah, yeah. The used market or even the reseller market, like it's gonna be off the chain. If they're grabbing these up, I can guarantee you they're gonna be upwards of couple $1,000 on the secondary market. It's gonna be wild. Um, so if you guys have one already, man, I mean you might be if you sell it, you might get yourself a little bit of a chunk of change there. Um, Man,
yeah,
these consoles, I mean that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know if I want to say cool, but I think these consoles increasing in price, at least they're not decreasing, right? And they're still kind of you can still get a better price. So like looking at the like different conventions and stuff like that, my kids were like, "Hey, I want a Nintendo DS, Dad," and I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna go look and see if I can get one. I might get one for $60, dude." Everywhere I found them for like 200, no less than $200 for a freaking Nintendo DS. It was
that's
nuts.
that's
So like
insane.
so these consoles, man, they're a pretty good, collectors market there for it. And then when then the long I guess the looking at all these things now, Sega Genesis are like probably a freaking worth a fortune now. Like I wish I would have kept my Atari and my my Sega. Like holy smokes. Um we were actually talking about it the other day, Trey. What was the first console that you've ever played on?
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. So the first one I ever played on was I had an Atari, but we played an Atari, and then the next console that we had was a Sega Genesis, and then we got the first iteration of the PlayStation, the very first one that ever came out. And I think we had Crash Bandicoot on that thing, and that we wore that CD out, that game out, man. It was freaking. And then when we got our PS5, the first game that ever got back was Crash Bandicoot again. I was like, hell's yeah! I was able to play this again in my
Did you
childhood.
see Crash Bandicoot is awesome. Did you see the new Spyro game?
No, my son was telling me about it, and my son, my 15-year-old plays Spider-Man. He's played them and won that beat them like so many different times, and he's got my 8-year-old winning them and beating them now. It's like, but no, he's really excited about it. But I'm like, dude, I'm not paying a fortune for those things.
So you're still thinking that the Spyro is from the like the crack the Skylanders thing.
Oh, I thought you said Spider-Man. You said Spyro. No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Dude, I actually played Spyro on our first PS PlayStation.
All right, before we get to our next thing, I want to make one more point, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
All right. So, Apple, Microsoft.
Yeah.
I understand that the RAM market is tight. I understand that it's going up. I understand that it's getting bought up faster than you can buy it, except for Apple, who has probably first dibs on whatever comes off the assembly line. But whatever. I understand it's going up in price. That's fine. You can raise your price on products. They raised the price on Macs and iPads and stuff yesterday by up to $200. Um, but when the bubble pops in 2027 and we have all these fabs coming online, all these fabrication sites, I expect you to drop by as many hundreds of dollars as you increased by. So I'm talking like $800 MacBook Airs, man,
Mhm.
because, or at the very least, I want to see a flipping Mac Studio that has a terabyte of RAM on it.
Right. Yeah. And right now we're moving into that space where um because we're getting closer and closer to the because I think in 2027 they're going to announce that Apple's going to announce their new wave of phones, and there's a rumor that one of those is going to be a fold, right? So which makes me wonder if they have kind of did a little bit better than like Samsung or like Motorola with their folds. Because if you open up those folds, those ones, don't open up completely, and there's this little bevel in the middle, and it kind of, when you touch the screen, it kind of feels like our old, like, you remember the old computer screens where that when the first iteration of the touch screens came out, kind of felt like like it was the spongy screen.
Yeah.
That all feels like that's what it is, right? So I'm wondering if they're gonna do better technology, if they're gonna use, if it's gonna be a better screen, because listen, I'm an iPhone guy. Sorry, Jeremy, but I really love like the screens and the different OLED screens and things like that Apple uses. Um, because I'm a graphics guy, right? So I have to have some of these really great looking screens, or something that is actually going to be close enough to the color that I need it to be when I'm designing. So a lot of these screens, they like these Apple products do very well with that, right? So, but recently I was on the hunt for a new computer, and holy smokes, even the older ones are still expensive. And like, you can get like a when I was like, it was maybe a handful of years ago that I was looking at another computer, and I think it was like the M1 chip, the first version of the M chip. And those are still expensive, but they're a little bit more affordable today, right? But everything's going to be changing over. All those things shift down to a lower market, where you can learn a little bit more of affordable for us. But still, but also, when it comes to that shift, the OSs don't very the shift that low as well. Meaning that you're gonna lose out on updates and things of that nature. So it's a really hard thing to kind of, because you buy these older things, they become so obsolete that you can't even freaking update the things, and then you're going to be doing it all over again in 8 years. It's just nuts how how this market, we're always updating our devices, and it's actually absolutely wild to me.
So, quick note on that, and I don't want to like
Oh,
sidetrack this into
I
computer
think we
buying
lost
stuff.
your audio.
Oh dear. Let me double check that I'm using the correct
I think
microphone.
I lost your audio. I can't hear you. But while we're waiting to check on that, um, our friend Feathered Serpent Comics has the NES that I remember, but I have been told we had a system before that, so he remembers that he had the NES. Um, I hope it's not just my
You're fine.
audio on this
Can you hear me
right
now?
here.
Hello? Uh, can you hear me?
Are you able to hear me
Testing,
over there,
testing.
Trey? I think I lost you. Okay,
I'm
I
here.
lost your audio. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Can anyone on chat
While
hear
we're
me?
trying to
I'm
figure that
curious.
out, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next topic here, so we can take a look at what we're going to be talking about here. Let me see, where did we leave off? Let's see. He said he can hear us both. I'm not sure why I can't hear you. Very weird. He can hear us both.
That's strange.
Now I wish I had I wish I knew some sign language, so I can so I can hear you. Because this is very weird. Like technology, right? We're talking about technology, and it's like, and the ghost in the machine just said, "Nope, you're not gonna you're not gonna exploit me." Um, and I'm gonna turn off your headphones. I don't think it's me on my side. Everything should be good.
I muted myself and unmuted myself. I don't know.
Check. Okay. Very weird. I don't know what happened. This is the ghost in the machine definitely said, "Nah, we're not gonna. You guys aren't gonna talk to each other. We're just gonna talk at each other." Um. Okay, where did I leave off? Let me see. There's our Xbox. We got, since we're coming to about 4:30 and our audio is being weird, why don't we just talk about last couple ones? Because we're not gonna be able to get any banter back and forth. So I'm gonna cut this short, unfortunately. Stinking technology. Um, okay, so I'm gonna pull this off the screen here, and then I'm gonna talk about this last one here, or these last couple ones here. We talked about um Toy Story being huge in right now. Right now they raked in the biggest box office debut of the year, which is a franchise best, right? Which is absolutely nuts because we have Supergirl out right now. We have what else came out? There was a handful of other movies came out. There's a couple of ones that you think that would have dominated the market, but freaking Toy Story 5. Like it's crazy. But listen, in Toy Story 5, there's a lot more people. There's families. When you go and watch this thing, you take the whole entire family out, right? So it's not just one or two people going to see, Supergirl or your fan favorite, something like that, or you're right. So there's you're not going to take the kids to see Supergirl. I would take, because I want to watch that thing. My kids are going to be asking for, and then you got to deal with popcorn, food. Then you're spending another $100 on five people for
Soda.
snacks, right? So it's absolutely wild. But we even were going to talk. We were going to go see Toy Story 5 over the weekend, which we would have contributed to this box office deal. But I think it's fantastic that we got these things. Now here's my question: I don't know if we needed another Toy Story movie, and I've got some questions like, why is Woody still with this young girl? I thought he stayed with Bo Peep in the carnival. Whatever, I don't know. Questions. I got plot holes that need answered. So the only way I can get those answered is to go see the movie. So here's the
Yeah.
last thing I want to talk about. We got another really cool one. This one's kind of near and dear to my heart a little bit because we got Absolute Batman, which was this big, huge cult, awesome thing that just happened with Scott Snyder's university. They gave him a whole another universe. Last time that he did this, he did another fantastic thing and changed Batman's lore for the best. I think sometimes in the New 52 when they gave it to him, and they gave him another chance to come with another really great series called Absolute Batman, where these wild, fantastical kind of characters are even more wild and fantastical. And Warner Brothers and DC Studios has now ordered an animated series for this franchise, and I think it's going to do fantastic because it's already everybody's already talking about it and how wild this is and how cool it is. So I think this is fantastic. I hope this gets more people into the comic shops. So if you guys are really interested in Absolute Batman and want to know a little bit more about the lore and where it came from, go ahead to a comic shop. You might be you might be spending a little bit more money now for an Absolute Batman #1 because of the collector market and the here you go, prediction market. I guess we can use that word. The collector guys are and the resellers are now going wild because those things are this anytime that you have a movie or it's TV series that is in speculation, those numbers shoot up and those issues are very expensive. So I'm sure if you look it up on like eBay or somewhere else on the secondary third market, you're going to see these prices be huge increases. So if you guys have one sitting in your collection now, just get it bagged and boarded. Send it to the grader. Like, I don't know what you guys want to do, but that's freaking fantastic. Very, very cool. um but Trey, I know I can't hear you, the audience can hear you. Can you please let everybody know where they can find you, what you got going on soon, and then just kind of give me a signal when you're done so I know that it's my turn to do it. Thank you. Please, you have the
All
floor.
right. So before I get into my stuff, I'm going to talk about the Age of Radio Discord. You can go to discord.com/Age of Radio, or you can go to the Age of Radio website and click on the Discord logo. That will take you to the community that I am the manager of. And if you do that, there's all sorts of fun stuff. We talk about all of our X spaces in there. There's a place to kind of do self-promotion if you would like to. Just all kinds of stuff. It's a little bit quiet right now, but we're working on it. There's also a trivia question every week. Also, if you're looking for me specifically, you can find my Substack at creatortrade.substack.com. And if you want to follow me on social, it is everywhere at Creator Trey. Back to you, Joey.
Thank you guys for hanging out with me. My name is Joey Galvez. You can find me at Joey Galvez 1984. Next week, we're gonna have Jeremy back in the hot seat. He's gonna be talking about more fantastic stories and articles that are about podcasting and geek culture news. Head on over to Age of Radio and check out all the really cool stuff that they do. If you guys are interested in podcasting, or you guys are a podcaster and want to know a little bit more about how you can get some ads into your get some ad space. We talked a little bit about ads and how those are doing really well for podcasters these days. Age Radio hosts podcasts. We have over 150 podcasts on the network. I've got my little geek culture podcast network underneath them. So head on over to ageradio.com now, check it out, and find a really cool, fun podcast that you want to listen to there. And then if you are a podcaster, try typing in your information and finding out a little bit more, and we'll get somebody out there to talk to you, and we'll tell you a little bit more about what that entails. We thank you guys for hanging out with us every single week. Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Jeremy, for allowing me to take your seat and talk a little bit about these fun things. Sorry we couldn't. We had another about 45 minutes to another hour planned, but technology had the better of this one for us tonight. So we're gonna end the stream a little bit early, but thank you guys for hanging out with us. Come back again next week right here on Mercury by Age of Radio, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.